Hello, it is 2018. As you can see, the birth home of Martin Luther King Jr. You can see his home. I had the privilege of going to that house several years ago. I wasn't able to go in because you have to have a special pass to actually go in his home. As you can see, lived a very decent and nice neighborhood house. Yes, a man who stood for peace for us. And look what happened. Every time a leader stands for peace. But how are we going to make a difference today as black people? Well, for one, we have to learn how to unite. And we haven't been able to do that. We've been segregated now by class. By middle class, upper class, lower class, or poor, wealthy, or, So now if you're a wealthy black, you don't care about poor blacks, whether you were born into wealth or whether you became wealthy. You tend to just care about yourselves. And so the black community will not get stronger if we do not unite. We have to unite regardless of our backgrounds and our financial statuses. Otherwise, we will continue to be like we are. There'll be poor blacks in ghettos, there'll be middle class blacks, and there will be upper class blacks. And we will continue to be separated from each other instead of us uniting together, realizing that we have enemies. We have people that are against us. You have to remember, we have many people that are against us, and so we need to unite. And we need to wake up first and recognize our enemies, recognize that we've been brainwashed by the media, by the television. There's a serious conspiracy against us as blacks. The more that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to wake us up from what was happening in the world, the more of the threat he became, and he was killed. The same thing with Malcolm X, the same thing with Fred Hampton, and the same thing with anyone who comes forward and tries to wake us up to what is happening to us in this world on a great worldwide scale. We had our great Dick Gregory, who just passed last year, and he was waking us up on so many things. And all of a sudden he goes in the hospital for a cold and never comes out. That is a serious conspiracy. See, Dr. Sebi has all these cures for AIDS and diseases and herpes and cancers. He goes to jail. He dies in jail. He gets no health care or no assistance or whatever. There you go with these conspiracies. So what does it look like? It basically looks like if you stand up for what is right in this world, not only are you going to be condemned verbally and personally, but physically. Somebody's going to try to physically hurt you or kill you. And that's been the case. Even the Black Panther Party has pretty much gone underground. At least I'm going to try to find out if they're available to get in touch with. I'm gonna see, because they don't come out in the media, that's for sure. I never see them in the media anymore, ever since they've been attacked so much for speaking up for black owned businesses and companies and banks, and trying to get back to the black on Wall Street and so forth, trying to teach us to be entrepreneurs and have our own businesses instead of working for someone else and building them up. We need to establish our own businesses. We need to take classes on how to be entrepreneurs. And while we're doing that, we need to have conferences on how to unite as blacks, how to love blacks, how to love dark skinned and chocolates and browns and tans and honeys and high yellows. We need to embrace all blacks. If we separate you biracials and reds and high yellows and tans, then we're going to have a problem. We all need to come together as black people, no matter if we're biracial, if we're mixed, if we're high yellow, tan, orange, black, chocolate, or dark chocolate, or brown. We have to love one another and accept one another if we're going to fight the fight of injustice in this world. But we also need to build up ourselves, for we have been brainwashed to be more Americanized. We have been brainwashed to love white better than black, even within our own selves and appearances. Getting nose jobs, getting hair and faces changed and coloring the skin. Even in Africa, they're lightening their skin. It's just nightmare. But this is the result of subconscious and conscious brainwashing. If we do not come together and unite as a people, we will become distinct. We will become probably multi-racial if we continue to date and marry and have children outside of our race. The original black man will lose at least its color anyway. I don't know what else it'll lose. But those of us who are conscious and love each other and love the black race, and it's going to stand for the black race, and it's going to continue to multiply with black people. But the truth is, how many of us are going to do it? It seems like we're breaking down as blacks. Even in the church, there's no truth. There's too much fakeness. The true Sabbath and the origin of serving God. Nobody is seeking this out except some of us. Some of us who are awake and seeking out the truth and finding out truths that we totally feel, is regrettably finders of the truth. It's not a good look. But again, Martin Luther King Jr., that date is coming up this month. We're in January, so we're going to be celebrating Martin Luther King's Day as a national holiday, remembering that standing up for justice is a good thing, but it also comes with a price. And that price is jail. He went to jail, and even being killed and death. So if you want to stand up for what's right for people and blacks and all people, you're going to risk something. You're going to risk a lot. Remember, even that happened even with Kennedy, when he stood up for the rights for everyone, and look what happened to him. He was executed. He was executed too, killed. This is the type of world we live in. And this is why it's so important, I think, for us to have Jesus Christ in our life, to lead us and guide us to all truths, to get in touch with that, to get ourselves right with Him. Because there's just so much sin in the world. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And if we do not unite as a people, we are going to be destroyed as a people. We are going to separate as a people and succumb to our enemies. That's it. We're going to be just like our enemies, and going to be just heartless and colorless and less spiritual and brainwashed like them. We're going to become like them. And some of us have already become like them in so many different ways. But if we continue, we're not going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future. There's not going to be anything left. The way this world is going, I could see that Jesus Christ is on His way soon. I could see that a lot of horrible stuff is on His way, and the making's even worse. But anyway, we can acknowledge Martin Luther King. We can acknowledge his day, January, the holiday season that's going to come. It's actually a national holiday. I'm not even sure what day it is, though, on the calendar. I know that sounds kind of strange, but I'm not exactly sure. It says the 15th, Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day. Okay, so it's January the 15th, so that's the day that I guess the kids won't be in school because it's a national holiday now. So that's coming up in a few weeks. January the 15th will be Martin Luther King's Day. A man who was very, very powerful and courageous. Not only did he speak powerful words in the church, he spoke powerful in the march, he spoke powerful in the street, but it led him to being arrested several times, multiple times, and eventually being killed on that day when he was out and speaking and trying to make in Mississippi and trying to make the best of a horrible situation, and look what happened to him. It just tells you what kind of world we live in today. And I think that's why there's so many people that's scared to stand up now. They're afraid they're going to be thrown into prison, they're going to be shut up, or they're going to be killed. So now people today just you don't have too many leaders like that. Because every time somebody speaks the truth and they go out in the media and speak the truth. See, they're here today and gone tomorrow. Dr. Sebi, Dick Gregory, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, so many others who have spoken the truth publicly in the media, where it got to the mass media. See, what Martin Luther King did was global. It wasn't just affecting the 50 states, it was affecting the world with the things he was doing. It became a threat to people. And the sad part about it is Malcolm X did many great things for people, the marching and like what he stood for, by any means necessary, how we had to be strong in our standing fast against our enemy. And there's not even a holiday for him. And I think we need to push for a holiday for Malcolm X to be acknowledged and recognized for the things that he tried to obtain and do and have done for us, our people. So I just wanted to acknowledge him as well. But this month is going to be Martin Luther King's birthday, as well as his day that we're going to acknowledge him as a great leader. And he said one day, we're not going to be judged by the color of our skin, but about the contents of our character and things like that. And in some cases, some of us are, but in some cases, some of us are not. And we're judged by our finance status. If we're rich and stuff, and we have all this money, they seem to love us and embrace us. But if we're poor and don't have a dime, nobody seems to care. If we're willing to adapt to their society, their world, and their people, we're embraced. If we love our African heritage and our skin and our textures and our, then we're looked down upon. So it's which one do you want to be in this world? I think it's very important for us to embrace who we are. Remember, we've been told so many times that we wasn't special, that we wasn't unique. And then we looked in the African American history books and found out we're kings and queens and leaders and this and that, and we originated this, and we created the traffic signs, and we created the just so many things that we created in American history that's not told about us, because today's American history wants you to think that their culture and ways is higher than the other cultures. But when you study thoroughly, you'll find out that the black heritage culture is actually wiser and far more intelligent than the white culture. Not only are they highly intelligent and educated, but far more spiritual and in depth, creative and talented, and deep-rooted spirituality. That's why whenever somebody wants to be deep and spiritual and rooted, notice they come from a black source. There's never been a white woman who got in touch with soul and it came from the white source. Soul only comes from a black source, like Tina Marie. This is why we actually embrace her as being our sister. Even Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes, he wants to be soulful, so he gets in touch with black cultured music. He puts the rock and roll in there, which originated from blacks. He puts the soul and the gospel in there that originated from black soulful churches. He cannot get it from any other source because white people didn't originate it, so he has to grab it from that source to make his music. And he's aware of that. He's aware of that. But that's one of the reasons why his music is good. Because of that, putting that in there. I didn't mean to go down the road of music and all, but I just wanted to say happy 2018 to everyone. Let us stay united. This is Linda. I am a woman of God. I have been a licensed evangelist, a licensed pastor, and my next goal is to be a licensed apostle. That's right. I want to take it to the next level. I want to do my own business because I think it's very important as black people that we establish our own businesses. You don't know how important that is for black people to do. For us to be our own CEOs, managers, producers, leaders, things and so forth. That's my goal in life, and my ultimate goal is to have my ultimate relationship with God, because at the end of the day, I want to be able to enter into the kingdom of heaven. What good is it to gain the whole world but lose your own soul? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to go down that road. So until next time, if I have anything I want to talk about and share or say, I'll have another message to say. This just came very abruptly without me even really thinking about it. So peace out and shalom to all my sisters and brothers.